Welcome to Metrostars TV. My name is Michael Peroni, and we've got a few special guests here with me today after what is a successful weekend for the club, having won the Sixth Federation Cup of its history. Lee Robertson, welcome.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Michael. And I've also got with me Daniel Godley. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Michael.
Very formal. So I just wanted to kick off by just introducing Lee and Daniel for the people that aren't familiar with them. I mean, people that have been around the club for forever would be. But Lee and Daniel were formed basically an unbelievable partnership at the back. I guess it wasn't just them, obviously the rest of the defenders and that played at the time. But just to run off a couple of stats, and I want to thank Dimitri Pepis for sending all this through as our unofficial stats person. So Lee debuted in 1999, was with Campbelltown, I believe, Lee, at the time. But a mammoth 340 games, 16 goals, and I'm not going to say all Lee's honours, but 3 championships, 7 minor premierships or SA First Division champions, 3 cups, 2 pre-season championships, and just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 club champion medals, of which Lee was bestowed the honour of having that named after him. And in all seriousness, congratulations on that, Robbo. It's a terrific effort. Daniel, 414 matches, and I don't know if this is a misprint, but 5 goals. We'll get to that in a minute, given you the longest serving goalkeeper we had here. And along with that, basically all the same honours that Robbo's had, apart from the 6 club champion medals, but 2014 National NPL champion, 3 First Division championships, 7 minor premierships, 3 cups, a couple of pre-seasons in there, and awarded Metrostars Life membership in 2009. Before we go any further, I just want to acknowledge some of our sponsors. So obviously Coopers and Lee and Daniel, as they have many times at this bar that I'm standing at the moment, have enjoyed a few of them. And also to First Drop Wines, one of our other major sponsors here. And speaking of wine, just like these fine wines, Fabian Barbiero's just walked over. Fabian, quickly just join us. You've had the pleasure. Speaking of fine wines,
well, a good drop.
That is a good. What's that one? Mother's Milk.
Mother's Milk. That one.
Fabian, just quickly, congratulations on the weekend, mate. Well done. Another stellar effort from the boys. And how many is that for you now? Cups? Just the one? No, it's 2.
3, I reckon. Just 3. 3. I think it might be 3. Yeah. I think. Yep. 3. Yeah.
And you've pulled up okay after the game?
Yeah. I saw head Sunday, but body feels good today.
Actually, you were still here when I was here, so that's probably the reason why. But no, honestly, mate, congratulations and well done. And it's just hopefully one of the 3 that we want to win this year. So I think Danny's calling you for training, mate.
Right, here he is now. Yeah, Danny, I'll be out in a minute. Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Fabes. Okay, boys. So we decided to mix it up a bit for this edition. We sort of wanted to bring it to the bar and make it a bit more casual because, let's be honest, we spent a bit of time here when we were playing here together. And I just wanted to mention this bar is actually, for people that don't know, is named after Sam Setakazi, who was our inaugural president here at Metrostars and served the club so well for a long period of time, and we're forever grateful to Sam and the many other presidents that we've had, including Rob Rendy and Tony Tarmina and Andrew Peroni. So, guys, let's just kick it off. We just want to talk a bit about your experience at the club, and you're both here for a real long time. Lee, you came across from, you were at Playford, I believe, at the time. Just tell us a bit about how you got here and those first couple of years that you spent here at the club.
Yeah, you're right, mate. I come from Playford. I was actually in Scotland when I actually just returned from Scotland, had a little stint over there, playing in the 3rd Division over there. And when I returned, Mike Barnett reached out, to be honest, on the phone, and I didn't have a club at that time because I'd left Playford, but I guess with all intentions to go back there. And then Mike gave me a call and asked me to come over. So that was in 2004. Came over, and yeah, it was a great journey. The club was probably sort of finding their feet. So a couple of years before that, starting to establish themselves. I know the year before, in 2003, they had a really good season. I think they fell short at the end. And then myself, Daniel, and a few other boys came across in 2004, and we were quite fortunate to have some instant success. So it was really good.
And Daniel, your deal when you came across, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but we've spoken about this before. You were involved in a swap. Was it a swap deal with Barney Smith, yes. Is that the unofficial line? But Barney was here in 2003. You were at Adelaide Olympic.
Yeah.
Sorry, was I meant to say that or not? But you both went in opposite direction, obviously. And Barney, obviously, a really great keeper as well, but went across to Olympic. You ended up here at the same time as Lee. How did you find it? What was your experience like in those first couple of years, particularly?
It was good just to be around as good a players that were here. We had an awesome squad. First time I'd played in finals of senior finals. So yeah, it was a very welcoming club, and to get straight into grand final was brilliant.
And that didn't really stop there, I guess. I mean, the club was already heading in a northward direction, I guess, from probably 2002. They got promoted. I think it was in the late 90s, or 2000 was the first year that the club got promoted. They lost the cup final in 2000 against Croydon, and then obviously yourselves, Ivan Karlovic turned up. David Menachella was already here, and the club started to add players on after that, and really, build on that foundation. There was a little bit of a lean period there, maybe for a couple of years, I guess, if I'm being honest, for the club between probably 06, 07, and then another flurry of players came in 08. That sort of, even though that early success was there, that the period probably between 2008 and 14 was quite remarkable, really, when you look at it. What's your memories of that? Because there was a lot of it was 3 championships in that, probably about 5 minor premierships, a couple of cups. You must have just pinched yourselves at one point, thinking, "Geez, we're on something good here."
Yeah, 100% correct, mate. I mean, to be honest, we had a lot of good players around us. So, and the one thing that we did have was just a team bond, I guess. The camaraderie within the change rooms was just super strong. We all wanted to work for each other. We did work for each other, and from that, I guess, success came with that. I guess, unfortunately, at times we probably fell short. Potentially could have won a couple of extra championships, but wasn't meant to be. But it was a really successful period. Really one that I'll cherish as well, because some players can play for many years and maybe win one, maybe not win one at all. So to win a number of trophies along the journey was special.
I want to know about these goals before we go any further. Now, are they real? That's the first question. I know you scored. Did you score one in a cup game or something? They were all cup. So to tell us about it.
Which one?
Well, the first one.
The first one was a free kick, I think, against Whyalla or someone like that in the cup. It's a long story, but anyway, yeah. The longest run up in soccer history, one end of the pitch to the other, didn't stop. Ivan set the ball up for me already and put it in the top corner, and bang, there we go.
On a more serious note, I mean, that back four, I guess, and that did change a little bit over the years. Probably the left back role changed a bit, but the constant there was David Menachella at right back, and yourself and Ivan Lee in the middle, and then Daniel behind. It's a bit of a two-way street. You got these 3 or 4 Titans in front of you, really good players. You're the last line of defence. Did you get them out of more trouble? Or did you get the club out of more trouble in games, or did they get you out of more trouble? I know goalkeepers union here.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask, obviously, but it's actually really difficult to play behind such a good defence, because I think there was one period when Ivan coached where I think I had to face one shot in 3 weeks. That was like a serious threat. And it's actually, the concentration on that is ridiculously hard. When you're in the game all the time and you've got shots coming at you all the time, it's really easy to stay into the game. But pretty lucky to have a pretty good lineup like that in front of me.
I think it works both ways, to be honest. And you're right about what you said with the concentration, because you can do nothing for 89 minutes and then have to pull something out the proverbial in the last couple of seconds. So just staying on that period, 08 to 10, or actually let's take a step back. You've had some different coaches in your period here. Where you had Mike Barnett for a longer period, and then that was followed by, I think, Dave Terminello for a couple of years, and then Ivan after that. I'm not going to put you on the spot and say who was the best of the 3, because that's really difficult. They're all successful in their own right. I guess, what did you take out of each? What did you take away from each coach? I mean, you must have had different learnings in that period.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they all had their own, qualities and of how they went about their business. So they're all really good coaches. Rick Sriracha was in there as well.
Sorry, Rick. Yeah, sorry, Rick.
And again, Rick added another element as well. So it's hard to probably pinpoint exactly what they brought to my game, other than just continuing to grow me as a player, and also as a person as well. Because although they were coaches, they were mates as well. There was a friendship there.
Want to ask you, Daniel, but Lee touched on it at the start about the culture of the club. And one thing, I came from Blue Eagles, and probably the two clubs that I can say that I had the most joy at was there, because I had friends in the change rooms on and off the park. And then the same thing happened here. What can you say about the culture? How did the club manage to build it in such a short period of time, and remain so successful, I suppose?
Well, a lot of us actually knew each other before coming to Metrostars. There was a group of us that had played together, the Ivans, Termies, people like that. We'd all been in a team together, so it was good to get back together with that. But you always had that mix of us sort of at the top end of our careers, and a good mix of some really good kids coming in. And I think that's probably what kept the change rooms like the way it was.
I think, and I get, and you guys wouldn't take the credit for this, but for me to come in, it was already such a strong change room and such a strong culture. What you actually managed to achieve there, and the success will breed that as well, I suppose. But that sort of culture now, I think, is still embedded in the club, and I think the whole lot of years, I guess, that we're here from right at the very beginning, certainly played a massive part in that, and the younger players now won't understand that, I don't think, but they'll understand what's required and what's needed moving forward for the club to continue to be successful. And I think Danny's doing a really good job this year, along with the players, of maintaining that. I asked this question a fair bit of the young guys that I've been interviewing this year. It's a bit of a throwaway question. Funniest guy you played with? Funniest guy in the change room that you had here?
We had a few.
No stories.
No, I can't
just the funniest.
Stories, but I'd have to go close with Frank Sergi, to be honest. Yeah. In the early days, he was next level. He was next level, and I definitely can't share the stories.
Yeah, we don't want any Frank. We don't want any Franks. I was actually with Frank on Saturday afternoon. He's still making me laugh. Yeah. What about you, Daniel?
I think his sidekick, Con Antonio. I think he was probably one of the funnier people we've had here. Again, no stories.
Yeah, no. There's never any stories from here. I won't ask the best player you've played with, because again, that's probably unfair and really difficult. But you got any memories of some of the really good players? I mean, I can probably guess who you're going to say, but not me. But yeah, some of the really good players you had here, and who you've sort of felt almost privileged, I guess, playing with.
Yeah, mate. There's a lot to list off, really, but just off the top of my head, without offending anyone, I guess. Yeah. I'd put Ivan up there, obviously Daniel, yourself, Dino Manillo, Bill Mussolides, Scotty Tunbridge, Adam Van Dommel. I mean, the list can go on, and I don't want to offend people, but
Corey's offended right now.
Corey's offended right now because I haven't mentioned Cor and Smelty. Smelty's struggling to get a game, but Corey obviously definitely. And I think for me, I'll probably put Ivan right up there, and that's, I think, just the partnership that we had as well. Playing side by side for so long, and he got the best out of you as a teammate, and then obviously as a coach as well. So I don't want to offend anyone, but there's a few names in there.
Certainly, Ivan, definitely uncompromising in his standards. Yep. I found that when I got here, and I got a few rockets from him myself. But yeah, certainly agree with you. What about yourself?
I think he's pretty much nailed
everyone.
Yeah, he's covered everyone, but obviously himself, he's left off that list. You don't accidentally win as many club champion awards as he has. So, yeah.
There's probably too many. It's a big roll call, let's be honest, of really good players, and really lucky to put the shirt on here as well, I suppose. Just before we wrap it up, are you still involved in Football League, or what's going on? Are you coming back to the clubs? No. What are you doing these days?
So I hung the boots up. I was playing at Bossa, which is amateurs in the Saturday Div 1 a couple of years ago. So I finished that. I'm coaching my son now, Drude. We're out at Port Pirates at the moment. It's nice and close to home. So and he's thriving there. He's got mates down there. So he's down there at the moment. So we'll certainly see what the future holds. Yeah.
What about you, big fella?
I got the head honcho job in the under 11s. So at Metrostars, massive pressure.
Before, actually, I didn't want to take this opportunity to let it pass. Let's talk a little bit about the club at the moment, obviously, and it's, I won't look. We had some immediate success, I guess, winning a couple of cups in the last 3 or 4 years, which was great. It's good for the club, but always felt that was just hovering and needing to go to the next level. Hopefully, what's going on at the moment, and just looking at the result on the weekend, the club being top at the moment. What are you thinking? I mean, you've seen a few games this year, Daniel. What do you think can happen this year?
It's a standout how quick, how polished the team is at the moment. From round one, I came out, watched the first game, and yeah, just really impressive with how crisp they are. They look like they're taking it to another level, and the speed of the game at the moment. These synthetic pitches have a fair bit to do with it as well. But it's just you really do stand there and just go, wow. Like, it's an entertaining game. The weekend's game with Campbelltown, best 2 teams in the state at the moment. Really entertaining game from both sides. So yeah, I think it's a good product at the moment.
You saw the game on the weekend, Robbo. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it was excellent. And look, and I think what Daniel said with Campbelltown as well, they're right up there. So it was a really entertaining game to watch. I watched it on the TV. Unfortunately, I couldn't get down there, but I think, agreeing with what Godley said, it's just the pace you can see even just on the TV is a lot quicker than we used to play. So I think with bringing Danny on board, I think he's obviously brought another element to the club as well, another element of professionalism, which I think you'll probably find you'll see other clubs follow suit maybe down the track. But super impressed with how they're travelling at the moment, and hopefully they can continue the journey.
Yeah, it's 1 out of 3 so far, I guess. And look, I think the guys are still hungry. I've had the pleasure to speak to a few of them this year. They want to win everything. But look, you guys were part of the bedrock that sort of laid the foundation for what's happening at the moment. Really privileged to catch up again, Rob. I haven't seen you for a while. Daniel, I saw you Saturday night, So, but thanks very much for joining us here. Thanks to Coopers. Thanks to First Drop Wines. And I'll see everyone next week. Thanks.